to the neighborhood where it feels like your childhood. Your friendly neighborhood vibe gives it our all, bringing you the local haul. All kinds of comics, classic and new, Marvel, DC, and indies too. Readers and creators in unity. Welcome to our community.
Hello, nerdy neighbors! It has been way too long, and we need to update that intro clearly because it's not all about me anymore, because we have the wonderful Chase here.
Thank you.
In case y'all don't know me, I'm Lauren, your friendly neighborhood bi, and I know I already introduced him, but I told Chase he could introduce himself how he wants. He demanded it. No, I'm kidding.
I'm just here to talk comics, guys.
I thought you were commenting on comics.
Oh yes, I'm here to comment on comics.
Okay, there we go. Well, welcome back, guys. It is so great to be here. We finally got the chance after our HOA president, Sean, in case you don't know, he did not want us to do a show because we didn't meet permits or something last time. I mean, I thought I signed something and gave it to him, but I guess it wasn't enough. But graciously enough, Sean, our HOA president, was able to allow us, as he said, to do this live show. So we are here tonight, celebrating comics, talking some great stuff, catching up on the nerdy neighborhood, catch up with you neighbors. I'm just super excited to be here. And afterwards, after this live stream, that same HOA president, Sean, he is doing his own live stream at 9:00 Eastern for his podcast, getting 100 episodes, which is super duper exciting. So any of you guys watching this, if you're looking for some chaos to cause tonight, I know I at least will be going over there after our live show tonight and having some fun in the comments. I have things to say to Sean. Both congratulations and don't block my shows. But without further ado, just to let you guys know before we go into our neighborhood check-in, we do still have our Cooking with Creatives episodes on the channel. In case you guys don't know, those are the indie creator interviews that we do on here. So if you guys have been missing them or haven't been able to keep up with them, totally get it. But check them out. See if you can get back any campaigns. See if any tickle your fancy. It's an odd saying, but I said anyway. They're just really great. And these are really awesome indie creators. Like, these creators really care. They want to make you all happy. They want to give you the best products possible, the best comics. So check them out. See what you like. But otherwise, let's do our neighborhood check-in and say hi to everybody in the chat and bring on our guests. I love that ditty. Does it work, Chase, or is it terrible?
I love it. I do a little dance along to it every time.
Yes! We have a Chase dance now. I love that. Well, let's see. First in the chat tonight was the Punisher himself, Eric. In case you don't know who the Punisher is, he has all your punny needs at any given time. So if you want to test it, just let him know in the chat. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to launch you a pun at any time. So puns are his weapons of choice.
There's a thread in the Discord to challenge him if you want.
Yes, we have a whole channel, not server, channel in our server dedicated to his puns and other people's puns, other neighbors. So if you want to join the Discord, you should 100% do that. So please do that. If you need a link, let us know, but it's on our Twitter. Maybe it's in the link below. I hope it's in the description below. We'll find out, We got Owen of Owen's Reviews is here. What is up, my dude? So glad to see you here. And Jeff Howell is here as well. I am super excited to see you here, Jeff. I think you're going to be at Heroes Con this year too. So I hope I get to meet you there because I'm going to go there. Money be damned. Money be damned. I will cry my entire word there. We've got Malingo R here. This is a new neighbor. I don't know. Welcome.
Welcome, Malingo. Yes.
Welcome. I hope you enjoy yourself here. Check out the Discord too. Check out the Twitter, all that great stuff, whatever you enjoy most. And thanks, Eric. So, if you guys don't know, Eric actually gave me this hat. We traded hats. I gave him a bat hat, he gave me a super hat. I think it was an equal trade. So, it was a great time. But without further ado, if you guys are in the chat tonight, if you come in late, feel free to pop in, say hi. I know some people listen and hang out while they're busy, but we've got a great show tonight before we bring on our guests. We've got lots of things to talk about. We're going to talk about comic book palette cleansers. We've got a game to play with our guests as well. And it's just going to be a super great time. And we're going to catch up on all the fictional characters that joined our nerdy neighborhood. So there's been a lot since we've done the live show. So we're just going to look at the list and, have some fun chatting about it. We have a lot of exciting things going on. But without further ado, let's welcome the man of the hour. This guy is one of the best and most dedicated people in the comic community that I've met and spoken with and interacted with. He's such a great guy. He works, I hope I'm right that he still works with Comics Gathering. But he's amazing. He does a gazillion things. He is somebody I met originally through Our Love of Philadelphia, great comic series from Image Comics. But please welcome Wes Greer. What's up,
Hey,
Wes?
everybody.
Yeah,
I need a cool hat now. I feel left out.
It's okay. Chase doesn't have one either, so you're not alone.
I had one, but I took it to MegaCon and I left it at the hotel and never got it back.
Actually, I love hats. I used to wear hats all the time, but since I grew the hair long, I don't like the way hats look.
I can't do that anymore.
Well, when I shave the hair, it's going to look like that.
Yeah, so maybe I should just grow it long, be like one of those guys that's got the
skull.
On top. Yeah, skull.
Yeah,
like
there are three options: hat, man bun, or mullet. There's no other option.
I do love hats. I have quite a collection of hats.
I have a stack too. I wish I'm trying to figure out how to better hang them and display them, I guess is the word. But I still haven't figured that out. So if anybody has hat display tips, let me know because I might use them and I'll totally give you credit for it. Everybody in the chat is saying hi to you, Wes. Owen is saying hi. Jeff is saying hi. We got Eric with a nice pun for you. Greer is here with the cheer. There you go, man.
That's better than what it usually rhymes with.
Not original enough, Eric. Work on that one.
Was expected better.
Well, those of anybody that's watching this that doesn't know you or doesn't know you super well, tell us a bit about yourself and kind of how you got into the comics world and especially the journalism and things like that.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. As far as I can remember back, there's always been comics around. So my mom was really heavy into comics. My mom was big into Spider-Man and Batman. So I kind of grew up in it, like the whole Burton verse in it. She was big. Our house growing up had Michael Keaton posters all over it. And she was big into the original McFarlane Spider-Man. And so I got into that. And then I kind of grew out of it. I went to about into high school, early college. I got out of it for a little bit. And then Scott Snyder's Batman started. DC launched the New 52. And I was interested in getting back into it. And that just hooked me. So I've been back in it ever since. As far as reviews and stuff, when I always used to go on Reddit, I'd just type up my own random reviews because I had nothing better to do. I'd go into the Batman subreddit, the Spawn subreddit, just type right in. And I got a message one day out of nowhere from a guy who I thought was totally pranking me. Like, hey, I like your reviews. You want to come do this? Try it out. I was like, sure. And that was Comics Together. And that was about 4 years ago now.
Wow.
And I've been
cool.
I pretty much run the whole thing there now.
Well, congrats, man. I didn't know you ran the whole thing. You really came in and said, cool, this is fun. And then you said, all right, so I will, be in charge of all the fun now, guys. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm the captain now.
It was like weekly Batman reviews, and then I expanded, and now I run just about everything you see on the site.
Cool. That's crazy you started at New 52, because that's actually when I jumped off. That's when I started kind of starting to get like a job, and that's when I met my wife and started a family, and it wasn't until a little bit, not until probably like 2018 or something that I started buying comics again. Other than that, it was just trades forever until I actually started getting
money,
into
but I can see it, right? I got it.
Yeah.
I always keep it right there to remind me. So
The New 52 is when I dropped out. So I read all the way up through 52 and did all that. And then whenever they started New 52, I realized I spent so much money on comics. And right now I'm scrambling to pay rent and electricity, but I was somehow able to pick up all 52 issues of 52.
That's back when they were, what, $2.99?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was still killing me. My priorities weren't straight. I had to grow up a bit. And then after I grew up, I got back into comics again.
Yeah.
How did you end up starting your big action figure collection, Wes? Because I see them all behind you, and I've seen your humongous pictures.
That's another thing that just started when I was a kid. I'll just buy, whatever, and now they're all, I've got them everywhere. They're all over. My wife hates it, but she lets me get away with it. So as long as I give her space, I can have my space and do all this.
There's a reason I'm putting in the closet.
Yeah, exactly. Half and half.
Yeah, I saw that picture you posted maybe this week or last week of a bunch of McFarlane figure boxes you have. Yep. And you were like, that's not even close to all of them.
Nope.
Do you like to
the last year's worth, probably?
Oh my
6
God.
months to 12, yeah.
That's it? Just a year?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Man, you gotta teach me your action figure budgeting.
Yeah.
See, I just like go on Amazon, and once I see their announcement, I pre-order them, and then I start getting boxes. I'm like, what the hell is this?
So you surprise yourself and you treat yourself. That's your budget.
That's it. Yep.
I love it. I love it. Everybody needs a good budget. Owen says Wes's action figure collection is legendary. I would agree. 1,000%.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
And Jeff says, I think we only see a little of what Wes has. More in storage, I am sure.
Oh, I got storage stuff from like when I was a kid. I got old. Oh my God. But there's plenty more in front of me you can't see either, but it's everywhere.
I was going to say, you have so many, at least it looks like, displayed that I'm not even sure you need to put that many in storage.
Yep.
That's awesome. Are the McFarlane figures your favorite to collect so far?
I mean, for newer stuff, what they're putting, DC had licenses with a bunch of people, and they've cut them down a lot recently. So McFarlane's really your only option right now.
Yeah, which kind of stinks. You only have one decent option.
Right. You got like, if you look, my Joker there, like Mondo made that one. They got the big scale. Mm-hmm. Used to have like Diamond Select would make like the PVC statue, DC Direct, which went out, but McFarlane actually bought these, or I don't know if they bought it. They worked out some deal where they distribute all the new DC Direct stuff. So still McFarlane, but
wow, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole thing. I feel like there's still because a lot of people talk about with DC in particular, the disconnect the films have had, which of course is a whole conversation, but I feel like there's disconnects in other places they're still working on too.
Right.
So, but I love to see that you still get all these great things that make you happy despite all these other things going on and despite what other people may feel about something. You know what you like, and you're like, this is what's going to work for me. So I'm going to support it.
Just a big kid with adult money now. So.
I think you just described every nerdy neighbor.
Yeah. Named us all. It could be our slogan underneath our sigil.
You know what? That could be a good teacher. I'm just a giant kid with adult money now.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a shirt. I call dibs. I'm going to make it. Make sure y'all can get it. Well, if you guys have any questions in the live chat for Wes, feel free to shoot them our way real quick. Because otherwise we're just going to keep it going, and we're going to talk about who the world joined our nerdy neighborhood. And I know, Wes, you were excited in particular, I think this week, because your nomination could actually win.
I know. I was just super excited. Usually I'm like the one I put in dead last every time. I'm like, oh, why do I even do this?
That's okay. I don't think any of my nominations have won them yet either. It's all right.
Are we gonna have to start keeping track of like which neighbor has the most winning nominations in the polls?
Probably.
That's intense. That's intense. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our poll results, and we'll talk about who's joined their neighborhood. All right. So let's pull up the list. It wants to pull up. Oh, it's not here anymore. I thought it was.
Oh no.
It's fine. It's right here. All right. So this document is actually available in our Discord. So you can join our Discord. It should be linked below in the description. If not, let us know in the live chat. We'll get to you. And you can access this at any time. So we always update it once somebody wins a new poll and what their role is. But this is kind of just top to bottom. These are some of our earliest ones. We've already talked about before. And it's important to keep in mind too, last November, we did the first neighborhood re-elections where we got to re-elect roles and try to get other characters to take on those roles instead. So we will be doing that in November. So keep that in mind, because if you see somebody and you don't want
HOA president.
else there, knock them out. The voting will be open. So Neighborhood's Finest, we got Wonder Woman, Nightwing. They were the first one we ever voted on. I think maybe in our second or third live show we ever did. Neighbor is Mystique, and she is actually up for school principal this week on Twitter right now. And I believe, Wes, that was your nomination.
Yep, that was.
So why did you nominate Mystique for that one?
I was just looking for a random like principal, and I started thinking back, and I started thinking like alternative universes, and I remembered she was the principal of oh my god,
X-Men Evolution.
Yes, but the school's name was oh my god. It'll come back to me in like 5 minutes, but it's like that's pretty random. Let's see how this does, because every time I think like right off the top of my head, and those are the ones that don't get. So it's like, well, let me think outside the box this time.
I really liked it. I also really love it when neighbors like you, they'll like put a GIF or image that like kind of matches the nominee. So when I saw her in like her human form as the principal in X-Men Evolution, I was like, well, I have no more questions, I guess. Why not? Chase, did you nominate anybody for that one this week?
No, I did not. No.
Man, I was surprised because you always have these like.
I know. I usually jump in there. It's a random week for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you have these obscure ones.
That's why I never win. I go to obscure.
Nobody knows who they are. All right. So I'm gonna scroll down a bit because you can look at this whole list again. It's linked in the Discord and the Building the Neighborhood channel. If you click the pins, it's in there. If you need help finding it, let us know. But just for the more recent ones we've had, who have we not talked about yet? So our neighborhood baker is Gambit. But I don't know if he bakes. I think he's more a chef, but he's baking for us.
He's definitely a decorator. You know, he gets all the credit, makes it all flashy. He's definitely not the baker.
Yeah, we might have to re-elect that one. I don't know. Depends on what the other nerdy neighbors think.
Hey, you know what? I guess Gail Simone Library might have been one of mine. I know
that one was fantastic. I
might have been one
was
of
really
mine.
thrilled about that one.
But I remember I threw a bunch of like 3 or 4 out there, and I think that was one of them.
Yeah, I think there I think there might have been 2 people that nominated it, but maybe it was just you or somebody. But I really like that, especially because Barbara Gordon Oracle got voted the neighborhood librarian very early on. So I think that was just a nice touch. I wish Gail Simone will respond to our tweet about it. Gail, the nerdy neighbors love you. Plus reply. I'm trying to see what else really stood out to me. I love that the Tick is the neighborhood school mascot. I'm really glad
me
who
too.
the Tick is.
That's fantastic.
I love the Tick so much.
Wes, out of all the ones you can see on the screen right now, which one do you think is the most fitting, and which one do you think is not the best? Like, it's the least fitting. Like it was
The
the
most fitting
person.
I see is Cupid as Green Arrow. That just makes sense.
Mhm,
The chicken, the mascot thing's pretty good too, though.
mhm.
And then like the Baker and Gambit, I've been ever since you said that, I've been trying to, and I just can't piece those two together. Like Dr. Manhattan, the architect, perfect static electrician, Simone Library, Kurt Wagner, Academy of Swashbuckle. Those are all just great, but I can't get my head around the Baker and Gambit.
Yeah, the Gauntlets. I mean, Garbage Man's great. I love Toxie.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Toxie. I thought this was hilarious that Peter Parker Spider-Man was voted as neighborhood stripper. And he's our only stripper. So if we have a strip club, you just see him always.
Is he doing like the Spider-Man 3 like chair dance? And
it's just hard to be impressed by him on the pole because we know he can stick to the walls and stuff. So it's like, yeah, I guess.
I guess he has some cool moves.
Mm-hmm.
It is cool when he like catches your money with his webs, though. When you throw it at him.
Oh, I did think about that. That is fun.
Or he collects all his money on the stage just by making a big web and jerking it to him.
Oh yeah, like a little pile. Or maybe he like somebody has money in their hand and he just like literally webs your entire hand.
Yeah. He can make it fun.
Eric says he does whatever he can. Is this Gambit you're talking about, or Peter, or both?
I think he's talking about Peter. Does whatever Spider can.
Oh, see, Wes gets it. Wes, you understand the Punisher.
Yeah, he just took it a little literal.
Owen said, I'm still in favor of the mascot of the Gail Simone Library being a bear. I don't know if libraries have mascots, but we can make it happen. Especially if we get like a big bear statue like right outside the library.
It's just Gail Simone.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Maybe then she'll respond to our tweets and your guys' votes if we put a big bear outside of the library named after her. Maybe we'll get Tom Taylor in on it because he's in on that joke.
Yeah. That's some good stuff.
That'd be a ton of fun.
She's one of my favorite Twitter people. She just trolls everyone and it's great.
You know what's funny? I don't know why, but I'm blocked by Gail Simone on Twitter. I don't know. No clue.
Dang.
That's
crazy. I caught it in a blockchain.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I just
had to be like a blockchain or something.
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
What I figured.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes they, like they said, the blockchain, they just go on kind of a blocking spree, and because they're like, all these people are being terrible, and then somebody that's not being terrible gets caught in a crossfire. I feel like, but yeah, I think that's really cool. I was really pleased to see that. I think a lot of the nominations we've been getting lately have been pretty top tier. Like, props to all you nerdy neighbors out there, because y'all have been nominating well. Y'all have been picking great winners.
Who was up against Gambit? I can't get it out of my head.
I always have to look back because I can't access that without scrolling through old bookmarks or something on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I can try to figure that out.
That's just funny.
I know Chase is going to bring that up for re-elections this November.
I take my baking seriously, Lauren.
I can tell.
Apparently just not that week of elections.
You must have missed it.
Jeff said, surprised Deadpool isn't the stripper, but I can see Spider-Man. I swear Deadpool was a nominee, but maybe I'm remembering wrong because I was kind of surprised by that too.
There's Voodoo from Wildcats. She's literally a stripper.
Voodoo?
Yeah.
Yep.
Man,
that's a good
that
one.
sounds dangerous. A stripper named Voodoo? It's over for you.
She's half demonite. She can like sense them. She's fine. She can take care of herself. Plus, she has Maul. She's good.
I don't know. Sounds like she could destroy me and not in the fun way. So I'm gonna let her do her thing and keep my distance, I think. Eric says Deadpool is a neighborhood taco vendor. We can vote that at some point. Yep. If you guys want to those of you guys watching, if you guys want to have, be able to pick categories and stuff, just join the Discord, because I always ask in the Discord, what roles people want to nominate for the next week or couple weeks. And then I kind of just stack up everybody's votes and, go through them over the next while till we get through them. So
I'd be pretty excited about voting on the names of food trucks. That sounds great.
Ooh, that's good for the summer too. We'd have to have a lot of food trucks.
We do have an ice cream truck driver, don't we?
A neighborhood pool too. You gotta have your pool.
Yeah, you gotta have a neighborhood pool. So lifeguards.
Oh God, I don't know what characters we could trust to lifeguard. Knowing this neighborhood, we're gonna nominate some very chaotic people.
Sure, anybody be better than Gambit for lifeguard.
Man, Gambit is the butt of the show tonight. Sorry, Gambit.
I think, but sorry for Gambit, but I think Rogue would make a good lifeguard. Yes, she can't touch anybody, so she wouldn't be able to save you.
Chase, no! Chase, she can't touch you. Then how can she save you?
She'd be a great lifeguard. Hear me out.
I mean, can't she just wear waterproof gloves?
I guess
yellow dishwashing gloves to cover.
Yeah.
When she jumps in, she brings her dishes to wash too.
You'd have to wear one of those skin like the bodyboarders wear. Yeah.
Oh jeez. That what? That got me, Chase. That's pretty stupid and funny. I really liked that.
Thank you.
Jeff.
That's what I bring to this, Lauren.
What was that, Chase?
That's what I bring to this.
Who is the coffee barista? We don't have one yet, Jeff. I don't think so. Baker, lumberjack. No, we don't. So
and then you gotta go into what to call the coffee shop.
Yeah, see?
See, this is why we need people in the Discord to put these in so that I can put them on our list, because we got a lot to fill. Who would we want? Who would be a good coffee barista? Somebody that can talk and is nice and isn't terrible at making things?
Well, it had to be someone who can do cool designs on the top of it.
Ah. We could definitely do Aquaman as a lifeguard.
Aquaman is
That's a really good choice.
Thinking.
That could he would probably be a front runner for that, I imagine, unless
you had Mayor as the Mayor firefighter. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was surprised she won over Aquaman for that one. So, I guess people like comic Mara at least, so that's good for her.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a fire, she could come put it out. I'd be okay with it. So.
Mr.
Nothing wrong with that.
Busy selling ice cream in the neighborhood this summer. Yep, he is. He is our neighborhood ice cream man.
Okay, thank you, Eric. I asked that.
That's another one. I think I put I nominated Rick the ice cream man for that one, and he was dead last. I think I was the only one that voted for him.
I think Jeff will share your sentiments now hearing that, because the ice cream man guy was nominated and he didn't stand a chance against Mr. Freeze apparently, which was really weird. I thought he'd at least stand a chance.
Nope, he got dominated. I think that was the first time I ever nominated one.
Oh, man, well, I'm glad you came back and still nominated more instead of being like, man, this stinks, I'm out, because I wouldn't blame you. But I'm glad you still came back, because you have a good chance, man, not to jinx. I'll knock on wood. Grabs is here. What's up, Grabs? Welcome.
Howdy, Grabs. Looks like Storm's the mayor. She hadn't stepped in on this HOA issue.
No, she hasn't. And the funny thing is, she was up for re-election last year, and she kept it. She still won.
Maybe not this year. Somebody wake Storm up,
Listen, I don't know where she is. I think she's been on vacation, chasing T'Challa again or something. I love her, but girl, come on. Hot Girl Summer has not started yet.
It's a little big letdown right there.
Any last minute thoughts we wanted to have on our fictional characters in Nerdy Neighborhood for the night? Any last minute thoughts, Wes, Chase?
Gambit gotta go. I guarantee that.
No, let's just deal with this HOA president. I think we're good. Gambit.
Ooh, yep.
Maybe we could switch the two.
You know, that's actually funny because in the Discord, somebody mentioned him being the baker. And so I asked Sean, you know, do you like to bake? And he goes, oh, actually, I hate it. So maybe that'd be a good punishment. He loses a re-election if he's up. We're applauding live, everybody. Live tonight. Political storm clouds coming in this neighborhood. There's a lot. Lots of.
It's about time someone stood up.
Somebody needs to stand up because he has too much power and he's admitted it. Everyone, he has admitted it. Well, those of you guys that already know what's going on, thank you guys for being part of the Discord and keeping up with Twitter. If you want to keep up with all our fictional comic characters in the neighborhood and you haven't yet, go to our Twitter. It's on the screen here at NBHD Comic Show. Click the little link there, the Beacons link, and it'll connect you to Discord so that you can come join the fun and you can have more say and be part of the chaos. And the fun part is that during the re-elections in November, that's when actual people, like actual nerdy neighbors like me or Chase or Wes, you guys can actually become a role if you want. That's how Sean got HOA president last year. He stole it from Waller.
I mean, we thought Waller was bad.
Yeah, we did.
I was part of the hype train.
It was a fun November, let me tell you that. But you guys will be more part of the chaos and the fun and have more say. Go to Twitter, join the Discord, all this great stuff. We'd love for you to be a part of it. But other than that, be sure to check out this week's poll. It's school principal. You can go vote on the Twitter. Wes has a nominee in there up for the running. So if you want to help Wes out, if you agree with his, go for it. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you.
Vote for someone else. All votes matter.
Right.
I mean,
Kick rocks. I mean, have a great night. Well, perfect. Well, we've talked a lot, so I think it's time for us to play a little game. This game is called Create a Pitch. So Chase and I came up with this. The fun part about this is that it is completely randomly generated. What we're going to do is we'll each take turns. I'm going to put a random generator on the screen so everybody can see it. It'll come up with different names of superheroes and villains at random. There'll be 5 that come on the screen at any time. But let's say Chase is going first. So Chase we'd see 5 on screen. Then Wes and I will pick 2 of those for him to have to use in the comic together. So what he'll do is he'll get those 2 names and he'll have to create a pitch in 60 seconds or less for them to be in a comic together. No matter how good or bad it is, it doesn't matter. Just any pitch you can think of.
Got it.
Does that make sense to everybody? Chase, Wes, we good?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Rad. Sometimes I make game rules confusing, so I'm trying to make sure it's super simple for everybody. All right. So we have 5 random here. Can everybody see that okay?
That'd be a little close.
Okay. I don't know if I can zoom in any. Haha.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to rerun the generator, though. So, for example, you'll get these things. These are Marvel and DC. I just didn't have the time to make an indie one, and a lot of people don't know every indie, so this is just easier. All right. So, Wes, we can pick 2 for Chase to have to pitch and put together in a comic. Those of you in the live chat, if you guys see a name on here that you want Chase to have to put in a pitch, let us know, and we will consider it. But you guys have like 10 to 15 seconds to get those in. So if you see a name on the screen, you want Chase to have to put in a pitch, let us know. Wes, what you thinking?
Kirk Langstrom for sure.
Yes, Man Bat. Eric got it. Man Bat.
Yeah, he's so different from the other one. The other ones are kind of related. You could do, but you got Man Bat.
I think I agree with Man Bat.
He was one of my favorite parts of Justice League Dark. So,
well, there we go. We've already got a pitch. We've got something in there. I want to say Iron Man, but that also feels too easy, and I also don't like him. But you know,
I'm like judging the other ones together. Like, what's the most craziest you could come? But
They're actually all relatively similar. The odd man out here is the Hood, I think.
Yeah, the Hood was where I was looking. The Iron Man and the Flash and Matt Bat.
We got a vote for the Hood. So we got one voting for the Hood to be the second one.
Oh God!
All right, I vote. I think since Chase was very thrilled by that we should totally do that. Wes, what do you think?
All right, let's go with the Hood then.
Oh Jesus! Right. I don't know. He has like a demon in him, I guess. Right?
Just go off what you know. Just go off what you know. It's your pitch. All right.
All right.
You got 60 seconds in 3, 2, 1. You got plenty of time to think on it. So you take your time to think. I'll tell you when the time is up.
Okay. So I get to think for 60 seconds. I don't have to just talk. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So
yes, you can think.
Okay.
Owen says Man Bat in the Hood because it's a crazy juxtaposition between two characters. I don't know how you. I mean, I guess you could put them together. You know, they both are fighting demons. I don't know. I love Man Bat. I haven't read a lot of him, granted, but I really enjoy him. Have you read a lot of the Hood, Wes?
No.
So, Chase, you don't have to work that hard to impress us.
I literally haven't read anything with the Hood since like the early 2000s.
Has anybody in the live chat read anything from the Hood and know a little bit about him?
It's been so long. I know that he had like this demon. He had these 2 guns, like, and he would shoot out.
All right. Well, time's up, Chase.
Okay. Well, here we go.
Give us your best pitch.
Obviously, this is going to be a little bit of a darker story. So Man Bat, as you all would be aware if you read Justice League Dark and stuff, has got into more mystical things as well as scientific. So, you know, messing around with Constantine's books and stuff, Man Bat accidentally conjures the demon that possesses the Hood, you know, and all of a sudden possesses him. So now Man Bat has these 2 badass guns and wears a hood too. Imagine the visuals. It's a common amalgam of the Man Bat and the Hood. So he's a bat, but also with a badass hood. Okay.
You mean a bat ass hood?
Yes. And, you know, he does like Hood was like crime stuff, and Man Bat's like, you know, they do mystical, demony crime bat things, but with a cool hood. And that's it. It's a one shot. You know, I'm not looking for 3 issues here. I'm not looking for an arc.
Mystical crime bat things.
Yeah, maybe like on the back of a cereal box. You know, just give me a couple panels. It'll be good.
Wes looks like, what is happening?
And
better than what I would have came up with.
Wes, do you have a pitch in your head?
No, I got nothing. I'm just going.
I was gonna compare and see who has the better pitch.
It's been so long since I read the Hood. Maybe was he in like All New Avengers was he a villain in that too? Like there's just a time that I remember him being in comics, and I haven't really read much of him since. But it was like probably I was in college, so it was in the early 2000s. Because I'm the old one here.
Yeah, you are, because I'm young compared to you. Grab said, I haven't read any Man Bat or the Hood. My pitch would be an origin story and completely new. I love that. If you actually do come up with
you would have
pitch
to.
There, yeah,
not enough people know enough of
Let's go. Have a little, like an actual little pitch. That really sounds cool. I think that's a great choice. Like, sorry, Chase, I totally cut you off, but
no, you're good.
You were saying how people don't know the characters well. I think.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. People don't know well enough, so yeah, it's a new pitch, new origin probably would be the way to go to start off a story with one of them.
Yeah, I love that. Well, now we have 2 pitches. We have an origin story with no other details, and we have Chase's magical bat cape something out.
Yeah, you're not Lauren, you've got to accentuate the hood. It's a red hood, but also bat wings. Like I don't understand.
Oh, the bat wings. Okay, but why are they his real wings? Are they like? They are okay. See,
Yeah, they're his wings, but
it sounded like you're like a bat device. Like,
oh no. He's still a bat, but he's just also got a hood.
Bat hood.
Bat hood.
I love that so much. Cole
Man bat in
says,
the hood.
and by the way, welcome, Cole. Good to see you, man.
That's a cool nickname too. Unless he was like picked up and used to hit things with, like by bullies. That's a bad nickname.
How did you get that nickname, Cole? If you don't mind sharing. If you do, don't worry about it. But if you don't mind sharing, I would love to hear because, yeah, I think that's a cool nickname too. Grab says mine was hanging brain. What? Oh, Cole lied. All right. Well, you're being fined absolutely nothing for lying. It's okay. You're now man bat to me, Cole. You're now man bat in the neighborhood. Neighborhood man bat.
Write it in there.
I'll be happy to.
He doesn't even need a vote. Shoot him. For lying.
We're only part democracy now. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All right. Wes, you good to go next?
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet. Let's get 5 new heroes. All right, this is pretty good for him. This is pretty good, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we thinking, chat? So Wes, Chase and I and you guys are going to pick 2 characters that Wes has to make a comic book pitch for.
We could stay in his wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these are all my wheelhouse.
Oh, good.
I'm thinking the Punisher should be one of them.
I was thinking so too.
Yeah. That's my thought.
Okay, so we're going to go Punisher no matter what. Now let the chat get the next one.
I was actually thinking what Owen was thinking here. Punisher and the Penguin.
That is where my eye went to as well.
I really like that one. I think that's good. Eric, though, our Punisher, says Pam, Poison Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
How would you put that? That would be a tougher one, I feel like. Put the Punisher and Poison Ivy in a book together. Like, that would be interesting.
I don't know how those happen.
Welcome. Taylor Talk says Green Goblin and Harley Quinn. Ooh.
Okay.
Chaos.
Yeah. He came in saying no Punisher. Green Goblin instead. You know what? It's ballsy. I like it. I'm going to go back. I revoke Punisher. I'm going to go Green Goblin.
Okay. All right. So Green Goblin's now on the table.
Yep,
we got 2 saying Green Goblin and Harley Quinn. Cole said the same thing. Grab. Why, Grabs? Why are you out for me? I need a love story for Cobblepot and Harley Quinn. That sounds horrifying. Absolutely horrifying.
I'm interested to know how it would happen, though.
Well, we got to make a final decision, Chase. So based on the chat and what you're thinking, what do you think our 2 are going to be for Wes?
Well, I think Green Goblin is. And I want to hear about the love story between Green Goblin and Oswald Cobblepot.
All right, so I'm gonna second that, I guess. So your 2 characters, Wes, are gonna be Green Goblin and Oswald Cobblepot. I am so sorry. You have.
I wish we could choose genre story too.
If you can make it a love story, I guess that's what's happening. But if you can't, we understand. I personally understand. All right, you got 60 seconds to think. I started the timer.
Only thing I could think of with Punisher and Penguin was just somehow the Punisher is going to be shooting that umbrella. You know?
That could be funny. That's what you were thinking, them getting in a shootout?
Yeah. But just Punisher getting the umbrella, that'd be good.
Norm and Ozzy, this rom-com is criminal. Paul says they both love money.
That's right.
They do. There you go. You're giving Wes some ideas. So they do.
They're both rich, you know.
It's first seas or nothing. So like, who said their choice first? I don't know about that. I don't think we have a first seas democracy, Grabs, but we can consider it.
We'll bring it up at the next meeting.
Join the Discord and bring it up.
Yeah,
people
I'm more of a
agree, it'll
dibs
probably happen.
person than a firsties, but they're kind of the same thing.
All right, 60 seconds are up. Wes,
All right.
what pitch do you have currently?
Oh man! All right. So, say Batman has run Oswald out of Gotham, so Gotham needs to find a new place to run his headquarters. So he goes to New York City, of course. He has to rebuild a new club empire there, which gets Spider-Man's attention, of course, which would, then get Green Goblin's attention. Green Goblin, Oswald get together. Goblin funds Oswald's new empire as part owner of the club, in return for Oswald helping him go against Spider-Man. And in doing so, the two get really close, a little too close for comfort. There's some homoerotic tensions going on there. We don't get it in the first issue.
Oh.
So we start building towards there's some kind of, cross couple.
There's got to be reason to buy that second issue,
Yeah. It's a 6-issue mini.
Stretching out that will they, won't they?
I wanted to point this out because I think this goes great. With great power comes great love.
There you go.
There it is.
So it's a 6-issue mini.
6-issue mini, yeah. So first issue, we start Oswald out of Gotham, needs to fund a new empire. Green Goblin gets on in it for exchange for helping come up with crazy ways to get rid of Spider-Man, and then the two just get closer and closer as the series goes, and they battle on, trying to take Peter out. But Peter's such a good stripper.
Yeah, trying to take Peter out.
Of love eventually.
I love how you not only gave us a random pitch with all these considerations, but you also put it in the universe of our neighborhood. Full props to you, Wes.
It's so good.
Full props. I don't think I can top that. Like, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do for a pitch because
I know Wes just won this game.
That
was good. That was so much more thought out than mine.
The Punisher said just the tip of the iceberg, in parentheses, loud.
Well,
So, it is after hours, guys. It is after hours. So, late night time. That was fantastic, Wes. Thank you so much for coming up with that fantastic, chaotic pitch.
Oswald wants to take a ride on the glider. Will he? Won't? We'll find out.
Oh, there could be like a Titanic King of the World moment, but
Yes.
like on the glider.
Absolutely traumatizing. Well, now we have to get them both in the nerdy neighborhood because they're not in the neighborhood, guys.
Oh my god.
We gotta get them in.
Oh,
all right. Do you guys want me to make a pitch or do we want to move on?
We have to do it.
Yes.
All right.
Pitch up.
I have to taste my own medicine. All right. All right. Here are the 5 characters. Chase, take it away. You guys figure out.
All right. Let's see here. Wes, what are you looking at?
Galactus for sure.
Yeah.
Gotta do Galactus.
For sure. And I can't see the chat, so sorry, guys.
I'll put stuff up if it's in the chat for y'all.
Oh, okay. Galactus, and Martian Manhunter would be easy. Galactus. Eric saying Martian Manhunter. All right. Both in space. What other one are you looking at, Wes?
Jason Todd.
His daddy issues. I like that one. I like that tater.
I'm having a hard time seeing Oliver Queen take down Galactus.
That's 2 for Jason Todd and Galactus. Well, all right. I think then we're just gonna go Jason Todd and Galactus.
Red Hood and Galactus.
Jesus.
All right.
And it has to be titled Daddy Issues. I will go buy that because that's hilarious. I will not do it justice, but that's hilarious. So I have to honor that.
Yeah, especially you can go by Earth X, Universe X, where Franklin Richards becomes Galactus, because that's got daddy issues written all over it there.
Yeah. See, I don't know enough about that to write that storyline. Damn it. I'd have to research, but I don't have time. All right, I put the timer up so you guys can
All
know
right.
I'm not cheating.
Just writing, huh? Okay. So, how do you think John Constantine would take down Galactus, Wes?
He's got so many tricks and stuff up his sleeve. He could just whip up some Galactus.
Plus, magic is just like the easiest thing in books.
Yeah.
Oh, it's magic.
John
You're right.
Constantine was the first one off because he could just whip some spell up and
Yeah.
Galactus somehow or send to another dimension.
I don't think Oliver Queen would stand a chance. As much as I love Green Arrow.
Yeah, that's right. He was the first one I was looking at was Oliver. Just shoot a bunch of arrows at him.
Yeah. I mean, I believe wholeheartedly that Martian Manhunter could take down Galactus if he really tried. But, I mean, he's just too powerful, Manhunter. Queen, though, old Green Arrow, he wouldn't stand much of a chance.
No.
All right, there you go, Lauren. There's your minute. Blow us away. Oh, you know, I just thought of one with Green Arrow. Dang it. Okay.
All right, well, I want to hear that after this because we're all going to need pitch cleanser after the nothing I have come up with. Well, so I was trying to think if, because like you could do the storyline where, Jason Todd fucks up. Batman's like, fuck this kid, and basically tries to shove him out, and Jason ends up saying, yeah, I've tried this Earth thing, and now I've heard about, hey, I can just go to frickin' space. So, like, why don't I just do that? I think it'd be far more entertaining to see him, like, seek out Galactus and, like, ask to be his herald, rather than, like, the tragic story of, like, oh, like, woe is me. I also don't think that he would, like, necessarily completely try to stop Galactus from eating the Earth. So I think he would ask to be Galactus's herald, and then he would just chase down every version of Bruce and have him, like, just eaten on every planet possible until someone talks some sense into his ass, if that was even possible. Maybe another Jason Todd could talk some sense to him. I don't know, but that's as much as I've got.
That works.
I don't think he'd take down Galactus. Like, that makes no sense to me. Yeah, he'd be vaporized.
Unless, like Silver Surfer, he tries to use the power cosmic against Galactus. I mean, it won't work, but he can try.
Yeah.
Red Hood would give those power.
The only way I could think of is like Green Arrow would say Galactus is looking for a herald, and Green Arrow is so full of himself enough that he thinks that he would be able to kind of be like the conscience of Galactus, of where this planet he could destroy or not. But I think he would easily get corrupted by all the power, and he would just be like a badass herald.
You do like a Spectre Green Arrow.
Yeah. Yes. That's kind of what I was envisioning. Only instead of riding on a surfboard, he rides on a giant arrow. And Galactus like points it where he wants it to go and shoots it, and he just rides on it.
Cute. Yeah, I don't know. I think too, like, I mean, making it more daddy issues, because I didn't really touch on that with that theme. I mean, he has daddy issues with Bruce, so now he tries to please Galactus 24/7. So now Galactus is his daddy. It's a whole thing.
He kind of starts wearing an outfit like Galactus. He's got a little Galactus helmet on now too.
Red Galactus helmet.
Yeah, he has a bigger size complex because his new daddy is like the biggest possible being in existence. So he has a huge size complex. Grab said only Squirrel Girl can beat Galactus.
That's true.
Sure that's canon.
Yep. It's true.
She is all powerful. Well, sweet. Well, there you guys go. You got some really insane pitches tonight. So if you were feeling like you didn't have any creative juices flowing, I hope you guys have some now that are better than mine at bare minimum.
Yeah, and let us hear your pitches.
Yes, please. If you guys have pitches, let us know. Would love to hear. If you guys like this game, let us know, and we'll do it more often on the channel, the show, and all that. But if you don't, that's okay too. Just let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you don't like it too. Yeah.
Let us know if Our picks are terrible except for Wes's.
Yes, it doesn't make sense.
Well, perfect. Well, let's go ahead and get into our discussion tonight. Our main topic are comic palette cleansers. So Chase came up with this idea while we were talking, and I'm going to go ahead and pass off to you, Chase, so you can kind of lead the discussion, tell us what the heck a comic book palette cleanser is and all that.
All right. Well, this kind of came up. Me and or Lauren and I were talking, and at the time she was a little burnt out on reading comics, or just certain types of comic stuff. And I get that all the time. In fact, I'm actually kind of feeling it right now. And everybody gets that, no matter if it's with books or comics or movies or music. You kind of burn out in like the genre you're in or something. You just need a nice palette cleanser, a simple, easy story that just reminds you this is why I love the thing I love. This is why I like comics in our sense. And I think a lot of people have different ideas of what a palette cleanser is. I was talking to one of my friends the other day about this, and he said his palette cleanser is slice of life manga. Like anytime he's just feeling out of it on issues or stories, he'll just pick up one of 3 or 4. He told me the names, and I should have written them down, but just a slice of life manga just gets him right back into feeling normal again and feeling good about reading comics, or back into wanting to read other things. So I think everybody has multiple palette cleansers. I think it depends on the genre you're reading or something like that. And ultimately, they just get you excited again about something that you already are normally excited about or love. That's what I believe. How about you, Wes? How do you feel about palette cleansers?
You said it perfectly. Anything I would say, you said. It's just kind of like a refresher.
Did you hear that, Lauren?
Like to go kind of back to my origins in the comics. Like the stuff that got me excited in the first time. That's a lot of what I picked. This stuff that got me super excited about them in the first place.
A lot of times it is that. A lot of times it's like the first or second or third story you really read. Sometimes those you'll always want to go back to, and it just reminds you when you started, like what brought you into like in comics. It doesn't matter the genre, but yeah, I love it. It's exactly right. You have anything on it, Lauren?
I just really like the idea because when we were talking about kind of what we wanted to talk about in our next live show, and I was like, well, comic burnout I'm feeling. I know some people are feeling it, but everybody kind of just talks about it. I've seen it talked about a lot lately, at least on a lot of other great podcasts, like Lost in Comics and things like that. But, I've never kind of thought of like, what's the next step? You know what I mean? Like I've never put into words, and you so gracefully did it with, well, here's what we can actually do when we're feeling burnt out, other than just like, talk about it and process your own way. Palette cleansers, I think, are something that not everybody may not have, but most people I think can have one. And most people that stick with comics throughout life, even between breaks, because I think it's very rare that a comic book reader reads comics their entire life and never takes a break. I mean, that's just really hard to do. It's not realistic, and like, nobody deserves a gold
financially
star
for doing
it's not realistic. Yeah, but I mean, if somebody does it, great, but you're not better than any other comic book reader,
Exactly. So, yeah, no one's better. Yeah, got it. I agree completely.
Yeah, so I think just kind of normalizing that and also having kind of like an active solution that may help people. I really liked that. So
I also want to state that it doesn't always have to be something new. There can be like a new series that I've read, and I just know this is going to be a palette cleanser for me. There's going to be a time when I'm going to want to come back and just need to read this story to be like, as a refresher, just because it's so good. Like, I don't want to jump on picks or something, but one of those I know at some point will be Murder Falcon. I know that will become a palette cleanser for me because it's its own genre to me. And it feels so different than the other stories. So that one will be, at some point, to me, I think will become a palette cleanser that I will just pick up and read randomly anytime.
Yeah, for sure. Not to completely pause the conversation, but I did want to shout out Chris, the 70s in the chat. And Chris, in case you missed it, this palette cleanser that Grabs has pitched, he actually pitched in the segment before this one where we played Creative Pitch. So if you want to look back like 10-15 minutes, Chris, and watch that at any point, I highly recommend it, especially since you like that crazy pitch. So,
you did that, yeah.
But yeah, So there's that. Eric replied to you, Chase, saying the Ivy book was that for me, Chase.
Oh, good. Excellent. The new Ivy book. People love it. I haven't read it, but people love it. You were reading it, weren't you, Lauren?
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm behind an issue though, but
I know the covers are amazing. Every time I see the cover, I was like, oh, I should buy those.
The interiors are just as fantastic.
Is it the same artist?
Better.
Is the same artist doing the interiors too?
I don't think so.
But it's just good. I love good luck, man.
I don't know if anybody else knows that. Let me know. But Owen said I still need to read Murder Falcon, and I love DWJ. That's Daniel Warren Johnson. For those of you guys that don't know.
Yeah, you do, Owen. It's so good. It's so good. I praised it enough, I think, on the podcast, but it's just so good.
It is. It is absolutely one of my favorites I've read as well. But I
got it on the wall right here.
And it's right there. That's number 1, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've also got a variant number 1, the metal variant cover.
Hey, if you send it to me or want to take a weekend trip down to North Carolina sometime, I'll get it signed for you by DWJ at HeroesCon.
Okay, yeah. Well, we talk about that.
Or you can just come to HeroesCon, but either way.
Yeah. God, I would love to. I really am still trying to get to go to GalaxyCon. I think I might be doing that, but
if you have to pick one, HeroesCon's better for comics. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So.
I usually I'll probably hit up one of my friends who writes comics. He actually wrote this comic, Bearskin. And if he's at a convention, I usually, if I'm going, I'll try to go to one of those ones that he's at too. So, but he's up and down the East Coast, so there's a good chance he'd go to HeroesCon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know, Chase, you wanted us to kind of each of us pick one personal comic book palette cleanser that we.
Our current, I said one current, like one that's like a current one that you would pick up and read, and then I thought we'd have a couple just suggestions as well.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Do you want me to start it?
Whatever you want. You're in charge.
Sure, I'll start it. Why not? Actually, no. Let the guest start it. Wes. So what's your if you I don't know if you're currently trying to cleanse your palate?
Palate cleanser. Boom. Right on the money. I keep this handy all the time. This is just, it's one of those things that I got on it on the start.
The first time
that's like so different that it, you got horror books, you got vampire books, but this is you can't even classify Philadelphia as that. It's its own thing.
Right.
I've honestly never read Philadelphia, but the first time I ever heard about it was.
All right, I'm logging off right now.
It was the first time I heard about it was on.
Throw the book at him through.
Was on one of your shows. Actually, you had Rodney Barnes on, and you were interviewing him, and that's the first time I ever heard about it.
Rodney and Jason. Yep.
Yeah, and that was so cool. And I kept saying I was going to pick it up after that. I just never have gotten around to it, but it sounded great, and you were very passionate about it then. So, and Rodney seems like a cool guy.
I second Wes. It's, especially the first volume specifically. It's all very good, but excuse me.
So what about it is makes it just that it's so different?
Yeah, it's just different. It's like Hamilton meets Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
It's everything about it's original. It's different. It's not like you pick up 100 other vampire books that are all the same. And that's not
whenever I hear it described, it sounds like it's like a big sling that worked,
Right, yeah. It's like a huge, like it could have flopped and everybody been like, this is so stupid, but it's just the way that Rodney does it, and then you got Jason's art on top of it. Just
I call that the tailspin effect, because Tailspin, the show, shouldn't have worked. It's so crazy when you think about the concept, but they took a swing and it worked.
Yeah. So Philadelphia, yeah, Rodney really did a great job.
Who's the artist in that again?
Jason Sean Alexander. And I really want to mention that more because the way he does the art, his art in general, but especially that art for that comic, correct me if I'm wrong, Wes, but he uses models and he actually gets photographs of models in those poses and everything that he's going to. So
process stuff.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing, man.
That's cool.
Out of it. And it's all illustrative art. And he does a lot of painting, and
Mm-hmm.
He does all digital stuff now, but it's still done in like a paint style. It's just awesome. Like for the covers, he still uses giant canvas and hand paints the covers. That's really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I love his art. I mean, there's not really another artist I could compare his art to say like this is kind of the style to expect. It's really, he makes it his own, you know. That's a great pick, Wes. I'm not surprised at all by that.
Yeah, that's my most
well, I'm going to keep it rolling with you, Lauren. What's your first? Your current?
So it's not a current run going, unfortunately, but it's something that I actually am intending to read the second I can actually get to my read pile, because I haven't been to it since like 2 weeks ago. But this issue in particular of Supergirl. So this is from Steve Orlando's run, part of Rebirth, I believe. It's issue 19, and it's such a nice comic book palette cleanser for me because it really shows Supergirl kind of at her finest, and not in a way that she's like, you know, being super tough and beating up all these bad guys or anything, but she's being super compassionate and just super human, even though she's not. There's a storyline with this non-binary character who's having trouble, you know, getting bullied, having trouble finding acceptance, things like that. And Kara doesn't blink an eye, you know, and they have this really nice conversation, and it's just so heartwarming. It gives me faith in humanity again, which I think we all kind of desperately need right now. So it's just really great, and it reminds me of why I really love her as a hero so much, and why she's such an important part of the super family as a whole, and why I'm excited for her to become more prominent, hopefully, in general pop culture, because I think she can help people kind of get in the right direction or stay hopeful. So I'm really excited. It's on the top of my pile to reread.
I love that because it's one issue. You know, whenever I was going, I was trying to think, like, because I can think on my head 3 single issues of comics that I will go back and read just because I love that one issue so much. And that's great because it's not a storyline. It's one issue that fills you with, you said it's just more of an emotional story, right? So you're getting the sense of there's something in this world to love and stuff like that, right? Like just a wholesomeness out of it that you might just need to feel again. So you pick it up to read it. That's great. I love it.
That's 100% it. So, I mean, I could do a whole trade of know, one of those, you know, Supergirl rebirths, but I really just was like that one comic. And I mean, I wanted to pick another comic, but I've talked about it before. It's on Uncanny X-Men 153. And that's like my favorite comic ever. But I was like, I got to pick something different.
I love it. It's great. And it's just that one single issue gives you all you need to cleanse your palate. That's great. I love it.
I hope so.
So let's see. My first one I wanted to start is, sorry, I left it down here. If you guys know me, if anybody listens to on Twitter or anything, you know that I love Exiles.
Yes.
I love it. It's one of my favorite stories of all time. But this, if you can look, like this spine is like completely worn. I've had this. I mean, I had all the single issues too, but I realized I was pulling out the single issues and reading them so much that I went and bought the trade of the first storyline just so I wouldn't wear out my issues so much. I have actually the first issue on my wall right here. But it is you don't have to know anything about the characters that are in this story. That's one thing that I really like about a palette cleanser is that you don't have to. You can go into it and not have to know anything about the story. And you know, Exiles, it's just versions of characters from different Earths. But just because you know that character in our original Earth doesn't mean you know anything about them in Exiles, and that's what I like. It's like a Quantum Leap monster of the week. It's like take like the show Quantum Leap, take Buffy, you know, and add in X-Men, and it's great. I love it. Or Sliders. It was a lot like Sliders back in the 90s too, but in comic form. And it's just it goes through all the tropes of a show or a book like that, and you just fall in love with these versions of these characters. and you never see him again. Like, so
Yeah, fine.
it's so good and concise, and I love it. Just a story, with the beginning, middle, and an end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sliders v. X-Men is one of the best ways to explain it. Just know that, I'll give you a little synopsis. So they're all, every person here is taken from their timeline at the moment they're about to die by a guy named the Time Broker. And if they help him fix timelines, then he will put them back into their time a second afterwards so they don't die. And then they can go back to live their life. And that's their, that's the whole premise of it. And it's constantly rotating because these worlds are going to are dying, so characters die, characters get to go back to their time, characters decide to quit at times, so the roster's constantly going. So some of your favorite characters throughout all of Marvel in the story, just slightly different, but it's just fun. It's just fun version of all these characters, and it's a good palate cleanser to me because it just reminds me that stories don't have to be serious. They can just be about Monster of the Week type stuff and just be really enjoyable if they're well written. And it's Mike McKone art, and I love Mike McKone. He's one of my favorite artists, so it's hard to pass up.
Yeah, it's interesting with Exiles because Lisa and I have been reading it for our Simply Amazing podcast with Nightcrawler because Nocturne is in it, Kurt's daughter from the AU, and I agree. It's really good. I think it is actually a great palate cleanser. I will say, though, the more you get into it, the further you get, there are some serious things that will come into play, and it will pull your heartstrings, but so good. It is absolutely worth it. So
yeah, you care about the characters, but you don't have to know anything about them outside of Exiles because they're not who they were.
Yep.
But yeah, the story, it's got the benefit of just having a great teams on it the whole time. The writers, Jim Calafor took over writing from art. Obviously, Judd Winnick was a writer at the beginning. Later on, Chris Claremont has a really good run in it. It's just it's really had the benefit of good creative teams. Nice. It only went 100 issues. I'd say only, but it went 100 issues. 100.
Exactly. It's like, bruh.
Only 100. But
no big deal.
That's great. I love it. But all right, so those were those. So now we can get on to just some suggestions. Wes, what other any do you throw out there just for anybody to just maybe not personal for you, but just ones that you think would be good palate cleansers?
Of course, I got to rep my homeboy here. We're gonna go year one.
That's a thick boy.
Yeah, that's the absolute. I have the single issue all put up, and so I figured I'd pull out the.
That's awesome.
But for anybody, I always get messages like, where do I start with Batman? What's a good origins? So Frank Miller's year one is always the definitive go-to for me. It's just a gritty, and I like the tale. It's like the growing of not just Batman as he's starting his journey, but you got Jim Gordon and his roll up the GCPD, and it's just fantastic all around. But I like the tale of the two coming up together.
Yeah, I was right there. That's really nice.
See if I can get it back together here. It might have been easier just to get the single issue out of the cloth.
Eric says Long Halloween is an excellent palate cleanser for me. Do you think that's a good palate cleanser, Wes? You're the Batman guy. Oh, he's got it.
That was my next one.
I agree. I love Long Halloween as well.
The Punisher's psychic now? What the world?
Right.
That's awesome. Do you have any more?
Just in general.
Maybe you can find more, man.
Yeah, no. You know what you want to talk about. I was wondering if you had anything else.
Go skip it. I'll find it.
Okay. Lauren, would you like to go, or you want me to throw some out there?
I can go, but before that, I want to Ben. By the way, hi Ben. Welcome.
Ben.
Good to see you. I know you're here for Wes. Hope you stick around though. The Killing Joke is my palate cleanser, bro. Coming right out of the gates.
Anybody else in the chat throw any out there?
Yes. Hold on, let me go back up. Chris said Twig is a good palate cleanser.
Oh, you'll have a good adventure, and Twig was very good. I could see where that becoming a palate cleanser. Yeah, I love a good adventure tale like that.
Owen says, despite its violent exterior, Invincible is a really good palate cleanser for me, as it just reminds me how much I love the medium of comics.
I agree. Invincible. Here's a funny thing about me. I'm always reading Invincible. I'll read it and finish it. It might take me 2 years to finish the whole series. So I randomly read it right now. I'm on it. I'm currently on trade 18. I'm looking right, sitting right here beside my trades. So 18 isn't in here. It's in one of the bathrooms, most likely. So that is where I'm at.
I love that journey.
So I agree. I'm always reading Invincible, but just because it reminds me as well how much I love, because it's just full of tropes, and it kind of makes fun of itself and stuff. There are parts in the first bit that are very early 2000s and, wouldn't fly totally now, but I easily look past. It's just such a good series. So I agree. I agree on that. I love Invincible.
I still need to read Invincible. I'm honestly terrified of trying to brave that one.
It reads so fast. It's such a fast read.
I have all the compendiums for it, and I started, but I just haven't.
I have all the... This was during my not buying comics phase, so I was only buying trades, which is a shame because I was in college when Invincible started, and I had the option to start buying it in single issues, and I thought I was being smart and resourceful, and I was like, no, I'll just get the trades so I don't have to spend that kind of money. And now, if I would have spent that money then, it wouldn't be an issue now.
Walking Dead, nah, I ain't gonna buy it.
Yeah, you have so many chances in life to make a lot of money, and I could have then, but I was trying to be smart. I was in college. I was working 2 jobs and a full-time student. I was like, I need to save some of this money. It sucks. Anyway,
that money I could have had right now.
What else got? John's Booster Gold is really good.
Yep,
I didn't read Spencer's Ant-Man. Is it good?
Grab says so. I haven't read it either, so
I believe him. And anything by Lemire, I can get behind that. Even though I don't know if gut-wrenching emotion as a palate cleanser.
I mean, sometimes you need to get it all out. So yeah, but how many?
Yeah, you're right.
So there you
go. That Namor storyline that came out during the whenever Marvel was trying to do manga, like the wave is what they called it. It was the same time that Runaways came out. I got all of those thinking that maybe one day, but that was one of the worst comics probably ever bought. So. But I didn't buy Invincible #1. All right, Lord. Anyway,
Spawn #1s I have, thinking I was going to be rich one day.
Yeah.
Oh no! Damn.
That's like having Led Zeppelin 1 and not realizing just how many are out in circulation.
Or the 90s X-Men #1.
Yeah. Why don't they even do they did a facsimile edition of that? Why? You can go to any farm pawn shop and find that. There's so many of them.
They're getting money somehow, I guess.
Yeah. They got a lot of money off that Jim Lee art, I tell you.
There's a reason he's the face of DC Comics now. He got promoted, so
Oh yeah, I saw that. Good job, nice man.
Presidente.
Yep.
But all right, Lauren, another palate cleanser.
So a couple I have, and these are actually more current. For me, Above Snakes was a really good palate cleanser. That's the trade of it, I believe, the trade cover. It was just. It had a really nice balance between really emotional stuff, but also just batshit crazy and silly. At one point, you have a talking bird spirit thing just screaming for no reason, just running away from this other bird spirit thing and just screaming the dumbest shit out. And it's really entertaining while still having that, kind of Western vengeance story. So for me, it was a really good palate cleanser. I like Sean Lewis. He's the writer. He did Bliss, which didn't have comedy in it at all. That was all Bliss drama. Yeah. This one has Above Snakes actually has some comedy in it, which is really nice. It's Jeff was a bib palette cleanser for me recently.
I haven't found it, but both the comic stores around here didn't have it. So I'm like, I haven't got to read it yet. I wanted it so bad.
I wish you had told me, man. I'll check with my shop and see if we have some. If we do, but it's been a while, so it might not. But if we do, I'll send you it. It's just a lot of fun, and it's really interesting because they don't use any like technical words most of the time. Like for Jeff talking, there's none of that. It's mostly kind of like watching an old cartoon, and you just have to watch and see the movements.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very well done. And issue 8 had me crying tears of joy, like not crying sad, but like tears of joy. It was ridiculous.
Great.
It's very nice. The art is adorable.
I like this. I'm getting that your palette cleansers are wholesome. You like wholesome stuff, and it brings you right back. Apparently, I love it.
Yes. Yeah, some people I don't know. I feel like some people like have weird movie or TV show palette cleansers. Like I swear some people's idea of a TV palette cleanser is to watch Law and Order SVU. Why?
I have a friend whose palette cleanser is like horror movies, like brutal, gory horror movies. It just puts them in a better mood. I'm like, all right, man.
It ain't me.
If I watch Law and Order SVU, I can't go to sleep until I watch something stupid or silly because it'll be way on my that's heavy.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the exact same way. Or like people that put on the news to go to sleep. How does that calm you? Like,
God, especially not today. I went to sleep for days.
I prefer to go to sleep in silence, but my wife has to have the TV on. So it's usually Seinfeld or Friends is usually what we fall asleep to. Something like that. Or it used to be The Office, but they took Office off of Netflix or whatever. Yeah, just something. As long as it's not like I found that I can't go to sleep with Married with Children on. It just I don't know why. Like I just listen to it and it makes me laugh too much.
Yeah, I can't fall asleep with anything that engages me because I want to watch it.
Right. Yeah. Just anyway.
That's why I gotta do reruns of something.
Right. It's seen a million times. Psych. Watch a lot of Psych going to sleep because I can probably quote Psych. All right. Is it my turn?
I have one more if that's okay.
Oh, no. Let's hear your other one.
Because this might surprise some people if they know how I felt about a certain issue in this. Once you know what it is, you'll know what I'm talking about. But Saga. So Chris Evans, that was in chat earlier, him and his good friend Emmett, who's also a friend of the show, they do a podcast called Gathering of the Geeks, which you should check out. They're on YouTube and, all your podcast stations. But we did a thing for a bit, I guess, where we had a little Saga book club where we read like a small trade and then we talk about it a little bit later. And I was super engaged to the point where, we were reading at a certain pace and I jumped ahead. I got ahead of everybody because I couldn't stop myself because I was enjoying it so much and was shocked by how engaged I was because, I'm not into fantasy usually. I had no idea what this was about. I was told you have to read it. You just have to read it to get it. But now I understand that because that's all I can tell people is you have to give it a shot to understand what it is. But
I haven't read any Saga since it came back.
Yeah. Well, see, that was my problem is I got to that issue that they left off on before that 3-year break they took. Yeah, and that issue completely killed it for me. Like I've tried to read the newer issues and what they did in that issue before the break changed everything so much that it's lost its magic for me.
You know what? That really, both of those that happened right there in the end of that issue, kind of angered me, really destroyed, but it wasn't the worst death to me. There was one that really gut wrenched me. And it was that little muskrat thing who still believed in its god. It was like, I believe, as like they push the button and destroy the planet and the wave of water's going over it. I was like, I can't do this. Oh, this is awful.
So Saga, but I really think it was worth reading because even though it kind of lost its magic for me after that one issue, I also don't regret reading. Before
they killed a lot of really good characters in that book. I will finish it. I will read it, but I just wait until my friend Paul, who I borrow comics from all the time, gets all the trades in, and then I'll read them all at once.
There you go.
Yeah. Grab said Goose. No, Grab said died. Did I forget that?
The Goose is Goose is still alive where I'm at. He better not die. Oh, they killed Goose.
I'm just making sure. That was gonna be a spoiler for me, and I was gonna be sad.
I'll be very upset if that happens. Oh, it's probably going to happen, isn't it?
That's all I got. Don't worry about the sad stuff.
I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Okay. Love it. On one. Okay. So mine are, I would, some random. Okay. So number one, I really like I said, genres. It depends on the genre, what I'm feeling burnt out on. And one genre I really love in comics is like detective noir. Lauren, you're very aware how much I love like That Texas Blood and what's the Chip Zdarsky book out right now where he's a detective?
Is
Newburn.
it that one?
Newburn.
Yeah.
Newburn's the name of it. All great. Okay, so if I'm but if burnt out on that genre, I go back to a story called Hawaiian Dick. That came out Image, Hawaiian Dick. Listen to me. This, written by Claymore and art by Stephen Griffin. I had never left a comic so in love with the color palettes before. The coloring in this comic is so freaking good. And so much the fact that I was looking it up and realized that he won an award for it. So, like, the colorist, Steve Griffin, who did all the art, he did the illustrations and the coloring, won an award for the art for the coloring in this comic. So, it's about a detective in Hawaii named, and like all great noir books, it has a little bit of the supernatural in it, just a scotch to really like confuse you as to what's going on. It's a detective named Bird in Hawaii. It takes place in the 1950s. There's like a witch doctor shaman lady. Like he's trying to solve a murder of this girl, and it's only 3 issues, and it's great. I love it. There was a time that it was commissioned for a movie with Johnny Knoxville playing the main character, but that never happened. But it did get commissioned once. Hawaiian Dick. It is such a good read. They put out a second series. I think it's called Last Resort, Hawaiian Dick Last Resort, and it was good too. But I love the first one. So Hawaiian Dick from Image by Claymore and Stephen Griffin. Check it out. You guys will love it. It's so good. Let's see. Next, another random one. Like I said, I like picking stories that you don't have to know anything about. And that is, even though this is inside one of my favorite universes, the top 10 universe, it is called Smacks. And it's about Jeff Smacks. He's that blue guy on the cover right there. And then this is Toy Box's partner in the top 10 precinct. But so there are cops in the top 10 precinct in their city, but he has to go back to the universe where he's from. But he's from a universe of just like magic and monsters. And he was a monster hunter back in his day. And the reason he left was because this little girl died. He was supposed to go save, because that was his job. And the dragon thing is back. So he has to go back home, and he commissions an adventure. So he has to go to the adventure commissioning office, and he has to have one dwarf, one magician, and whatever to round out his venturing party before he can get the permits to do it. And then he goes off and it's written by Alan Moore and art's by Xander Cannon. And it is one of like the most whimsical, funny Alan Moore books that I've read. It is so good. And there's so much shit going on in the backgrounds of everything, like, because they're just in this fairyland. Like, it's very good. Very, very good. And it's just completely and totally different than any other Alan Moore story and than any other like top 10 story. That big cat thing is the dragon. It's,
oh my God.
A little more of a palate cleanser than the Killing Joke.
And if you look at him, he has that he always has that handprint thing on his chest, like that thing. And even in top 10, he has that, like a thing there. And in this, you find out why. And it covers up the little girl's handprint. She was grabbing him for help when the dragon killed her, and it burnt her print into his chest. Like,
oh my gosh, that's so dramatic.
Yeah, that's deep.
Well, it's Alan Moore, so he does stuff like that. But
when you
it's
said
just
like whimsical and funny, I was like, Alan Moore writes that?
Yeah, he can. And it's just so good. And I love Xander Cannon's art. I have a commission of him right here. You probably don't see it. That's Smacks. That's Smacks from this story. I met Xander Cannon. Like,
Yeah, I see a sword.
Yeah. That's a singing sword. He has a singing sword that helps him, but it loves ABBA, so it just sings ABBA the whole time. And that's the singing sword is singing Friday Night When the Lights Are Low. Right there. The singing sword loves ABBA. And you know that I have an affection for talking weapons. You know how much I love barbaric. And there's a book down here called The Cell Sword. This is also another part of that genre. The sword's got all the ghosts of its previous owners in it. So, like, I love shit like that. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, then my last palate cleanser is Starman. Now,
which I still need to finish.
Well, this is Times Past, and Times Past is different. So I want to get the issue down. So hold on one second. This is Starman 6, 11, 18, and 21, and Annual #1, and Secret Files #1. They would do a bunch of random mini issue, like one-shot issues inside the Starman universe that have nothing to do with the Starman storyline that's going on. And that's what this is. They just put them all into one trade.
Oh, okay.
And it has my absolute favorite story, like one of my favorite stories ever written in this. It is, I actually own it individually too. It's this story right here called 13 Years Ago. And it's about the original Starman, Ted Knight, and Our Man, Jay Garrick Flash, and Alan Scott, Green Lantern. And Ragdoll has found out all their secret identities. And he's telling them, I want to kill your wives. I want to kill your children. Like all this stuff. And it goes outside and you just see a blast of every one of their powers from the windows. And it goes back and he's dead. And then you don't know which hero killed him, but a hero killed him. And that's how it ends. You just know that one of your favorite heroes just murdered Ragdoll, but they don't know who it was because they all did something. And no one rats on him. No one ever finds out. And it has big implications because Jack always wears like a Ragdoll shirt around his dad and stuff to just to fuck with him or mess with him. Sorry. And so now you find out why his dad would always get mad and stuff. But like, it's just such a good issue. But I love this book. I'll sit and read this randomly because it's just to me a palate cleanser because it has nothing to do with the Starman story, but I still get all that Starman love that I have, in them. And it's just, there's a shade story in here. There's just a lot of really cool stuff.
Nice. That sounds really fun. I feel
my bookmark fell out of it, so now I don't know where I left it.
Oh, now you're screwed.
Yeah, I have to read it and start all over again.
Well, you sound like you knew the whole plot, so
I could probably recite most of it too. But that's it. Other than I have these sitting over here. I've been reading New X-Men Academy again. It is actually people who want to get into X-Men and understand what's going on now. Like I always say that New X-Men Academy is a great starting point because it takes place after Morrison's X-Men, and anything after Morrison is always a revamp of that series again because he does so much crazy shit.
Right.
And
no, but how the hell do we top Grant Morrison?
Right, you don't. So you just start over. So many modern X-Men from Krakoa were introduced in this, or were left over from Morrison that got popular in this, like Glob or like Rockslide, Anole, Elixir, what's his name? Hellion, who's the one dude? Prodigy. They're all from this series. Wind Dancer, Surge, everyone was introduced in this series. So, or as a leftover from Morrison, that just was background character. So a lot of the people from this series are now main characters in modern X-Men. So I always think it's good to go back and read New X-Men Academy because it's a good introduction to everybody.
Nice.
And they're really, really good. And they just get better as they go too. Like New X-Men, X-Men Academy. Then there's the Hellions 4-issue miniseries. Like it's all just so good.
Yeah. Which is what we want, And
it just it introduces X-Men. It's like starting over in the X-Men universe for people who don't know anything about it, or just like a re-knowledge of, because when that starts is right when Cyclops and Emma are like official, and they are running the school together as headmaster and headmistress. Like, and it's so good.
I love that. I like how you kind of gave a palate cleanser for if you need to get back into X-Men, start here. And then Wes gave a palate cleanser for if you don't know where to start with Batman, right here. There's like 2 off the bat you can do. I think it's perfect. I wanted to point out before we wrap up, talk about palate cleansers and wrap up the show tonight. Tater Talks did mention Love Everlasting has worked as a palate cleanser for them.
I hear great things about Love Everlasting.
Eric said Promethea is a weird, wonderful palate cleanser for me, also by Alan Moore.
It's weird for Alan Moore to be a palate cleanser because he's always so deep and stuff, but he puts out so much different stuff that there's things in there. That's cool.
Right. Chris Evans said that's a good time. I think in reference to the X-Men story you're talking about, Chase.
It is. It's great. And it does. It continues to just get better and better, too. It's the creative teams in that one are spot on. They're so good.
I love it. Malingo said they have to go sleep. Have a great night, Malingo. Thanks for checking us out.
Coming in.
It's great to have you. Yeah, I don't know. I think I learned a lot. I feel like I have so many comic book palette cleanser options.
Well, I've got that Stacks book pulled up right here on my computer. I'm going to take it down.
That's what Wes has been doing as we talk. Just making a list.
He's gonna, like this. I was checking it out.
He's going to check us all, make sure we're not giving shit palette cleansers.
Well, I hope we help somebody out there and somebody tries at least one of these books out that we've mentioned. Maybe Lauren's single issue of Supergirl will be an easy one to find. Jeff, not easy for me to find, but it's new, so maybe you can go out there and find it somewhere.
You can read it. Just get the Marvel Unlimited app. I know I say just, but let me tell you, like you can read so much stuff on Marvel Unlimited, and it's actually really nice to read on your phone, which I thought was insane. But it reads because Jeff is also a comic that was originally on Marvel Unlimited, so it's formatted to read on mobile.
I like the way things read on mobile. You know, it's not my preferred way, but I don't mind either. I like how the panels get bigger and smaller. Yeah, and the screenshots are perfect.
What's cool is if you have like 3 or a number of panels lined up next to each other, and they're all supposed to be showing like somebody walking and like showing movement. When you read it on your phone and you click through the panels, it actually looks like they're moving that way, which you can't get reading it on paper. So
he's got to do this. Hold on, Laura.
Ben says, "Oh yeah, Marvel Unlimited is amazing. It's worth it. It took me a while to give in and try it and give it a shot, but I'm glad I did. I have the DC Infinite as well, which I don't use as much. But
I used to have the DC app. I enjoyed the hell out of
it. I have both of them though.
What's the other DC app? What's the
other one that I used to have? I used to have the
Marvel and DC.
No, I have the Marvel and DC.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I have the same thing. It helps me not spend as much money in my shop every week too, especially DC. Like the only ongoing DC I pick up is Poison Ivy. Everything else I'm like I can wait a month for because they have a quicker turnaround than Marvel does. I wish Marvel would go to a month too to compete with them, but they clearly don't feel the need to compete.
Yeah.
So.
Because I was reading Amazing Spider-Man and I don't even care. That's fine. I'm glad it's fine.
I was talking about that actually with my siblings tonight because I'm not in that fandom at all. But I was like, so I've heard these things are going on. Do you guys have insight? They're like, yeah. You either like it or you hate it. There's no middle.
I want to throw one more random one out there. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Here's another random one. Faith by Valiant.
I've heard of that. I don't
Great comic. I feel like so her name's Faith, but her superhero name's Zephyr. If you read Valiant, she's part of their super team and everything. But this is her going out on her own for the first time, not being on the super team. And I always felt like Kamala Khan was based off of her because she's just a fangirl. Like that's all she is. She loves all the superheroes. She loves like Joss Whedon and nerdy shit. Like she's just a super fangirl that also happens to be a superhero. And she's really cool. I love Zephyr. But Faith #1, Hollywood and Vine, Valiant. Pick it up. Anybody. Like, if you just want a random, it's just a good superhero story. It's just, it's a palate cleanser. There's no other way to say it. It's just a safe. Like I said, it's got like if you look on the back, there's a lot of stars. Like people like it. Look at all them stars. Look at that.
Right?
It's a shitload. It's like that's like looking up the night sky. So many stars. But it's very good, and it's very digestible, palatable. You know, it's just a quick little read, but it's fun.
I love that. We have one more from Ben as well. I think Ben mentioned this earlier. Sorry, we missed you. So we'll get it now. That's where I read all my Darth Vader stuff or any of the Star Wars stuff. Star Wars is one of my palate cleansers. Honestly,
well, you have to read it on an app. There's no way. The Star Wars, my mind's just.
I used to love Star Wars comics. I haven't read them in forever, but I used to really love Star Wars comics.
The recent Darth Vader stuff is really good, man. Like
I have that issue that's like 30-some pages of Vader and Darth Maul fighting each other on a planet, or Vader fighting a planet of Darth Maul clones, and it's 30 pages and there's no words spoken. It's just all a fight. I love that's one of my favorite comics, Star Wars comics. But I hear like people love like the Dr. Aphra series, and I haven't read any of that.
No, I never read that.
But it's been going on a while, so there's clearly an audience that they think is worth putting out the money for, which is
I always
really
read
cool.
good stuff about it. I've just never got around to it yet.
Yeah. I only know like I read Darth Vader like 2 years ago and liked it, but then there was a storyline that kind of lost me, like an arc that was like, this is kind of and I couldn't justify it. But I do want to go back and reread it because I see some stuff that looks really good still in it. And then I remember reading the old EU stuff and reading like Star Wars Dark Empire. That's like one of my favorite Star Wars stories of all time. It's not critically the best by any measure, but it's one of my favorites because like it was just so cool at the time to be like, wow, Leia could be a Jedi and Luke's the one screwing up and she's gotta go clean up his mess. Like it was just kind of cool, you know.
I don't remember who put it out. It might have been Marvel, but it was like I want to say 16 to 20 years ago, someone put out the Star Wars, and it was a comic based off of the George Lucas's original Star Wars story before it turned into what it is. Like where it was Luke's, not Skywalker, but crap. But it's just his original story, but they turned it into a comic. It's crazy. It looks so different, but it's I'll have to look it all up. I'll post it on the Discord some later today.
I'm interested in that.
It's good, but it's just wild to think that's what it was originally supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's
and
cool.
if you guys watching stuff, you're on the Discord already. Oh, sorry, Wes.
I think it's original as Luke Starkiller or something.
Starkiller. Thank you. That's it. Yep, Starkiller. You're right.
Yep, Mr. Starkiller. Yeah, if you guys want to put stuff in the Discord from tonight's live show, please feel free. And to those of you guys watching, if you guys want us to share stuff we talked about on the show, join the Discord, just give us a shout out. All of us are in there. It's a good time. But Chase, thank you so much for this topic for tonight.
Once again, thanks for having me. I love doing this.
Well, you're part of the show, man.
Well, I know, but I mean, you still invited me to be a part of the show, Lauren. I thank you for that.
It's true. It's true. I'm happy to. Well, let's go ahead, and I think it's time to wrap it up tonight because I still want to go try to crash Sean's live, our HOA president that we are having some issues with still, but we got tonight to happen. So let's go ahead and do our neighborhood huddle tonight. All righty. Well, Chase, again, thank you for the great topic. It looks like the neighbors in the chat agree as well. Wes, it was so exciting having you on tonight. Thank you so much for your patience with our HOA president, Sean.
Yeah, I can't.
So cruel. Ugh, gotta go, man. Pitchforks, guys. Keep the pitchforks ready. We got tonight, but we still got to fight for more.
Yes, once again, also, thanks, Wes. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
It was fun. Always happy to talk about comics.
Glad you made it too, Ben. I'm glad you had fun. We're working on getting our live shows to be more consistent once a month. So, hope you stick around. Feel free to join the Discord. We're on there talking silly things. Other people that couldn't be here tonight are on there. It's a good time. Wes, plug yourself away. Where can people find you? All that good stuff.
Nowhere, nothing. Leave my Twitter alone. Don't look me. Don't Google me. No. My main feed is Twitter right now. It's just at Wes_Greer, GREER. You can go to the site comicsthegathering.com. We're still working on redoing the whole thing. If you'll look, it's all a bunch of stuff I've randomly posted. Everything I post on the site goes to Twitter too, so you can just go to my Twitter and see everything, and it'll take you directly to the site.
You guys don't have a TikTok or anything?
No, we have we have everything, but
Not
I'm
active.
looking to pull a lot more crowd in through Twitter, so that's where we put most of the effort in.
Makes sense. Twitter is still the number one place for comic stuff, despite the chaos happening. So
Right.
The comic community is kind of outside of it a little bit, though. We don't see too much of it and all that stuff. I just don't. I never cared about blue check marks anyway, so now I just care less.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. We all just love comics, I think. Chase, where can people find you?
LP, West Virginia. Up on
Wes is about to Google Maps you.
I got Stacks and I got Google Maps. What else do I need?
No, Twitter. You can find me. I mean, I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok. I don't ever post anything on TikTok. I post a lot on YouTube on people's videos and stuff. I think I might comment on comics on YouTube too. Am I? I think I am. Or I'm Slam Dance Cosmopolis. If you see,
I'll be honest.
no matter where I'm at, I'm either I comment on comics or I'm Slam Dance Cosmopolis. You see either of those? That's me. Or if I'm on, you can probably, if you want to play games with me, PlayStation, I'm Black Persuasion. Look me up.
Yes, that's true. I have you there at least.
Let's reach over to the PlayStation real quick. Get that going.
I was about to have you on lock, Chase.
Right. Gotcha.
Wes is about to nominate you for the new HOA president. Are you ready for that responsibility?
Never. I will shirk those responsibilities as much as possible.
Well, again, thank you to the Nerdy Neighbors as well. You guys in the chat, thank you so much for being here, for playing along, having a great time. Be sure to join the Discord again. Even if you don't use it a lot, it's a really great way to keep up with everybody in the nerdy neighborhood without all the extra crud and have fun and get involved as little or as much as you want. So feel free to join. The link should be in the description. If you don't see it, shout us out on Twitter. We'll get you a link. No problem. We'll take care of you. You can follow us there, of course. We do the interviews here on the channel. We do the live shows monthly. And we are also working on getting some other types of videos on the channel. So if there's any kinds of videos you want to see on the channel, let us know what you'd like to see. We would love to hear it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that super cheesy but important stuff that helps us grow. Make sure to check out Wes, obviously, even though he said don't find him. Find him.
Hey, if anybody has some fun ideas or something, hit us up on Twitter, DM us or something. Maybe a game, get on the show or something. We are looking for different ideas. I'll happily steal them from you.
Yep, stay tuned. Whichever or both you use, both is better. But be sure to keep up with us on Twitter and the Discord so that you know when the next live show is happening, so you can be a part of the fun again. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And other than that, Nerd Neighbors, we'll see you guys next time in the Nerd Neighborhood.
We have a little bit of merch, Anybody look at the merch also. I don't want to say that start a grounds team or something, but we have some flyer little things. If you guys want to hand them out to your comic shops and stuff, that's cool too.
Yeah, so we do have flyers. If you guys are interested in flyers to take to your local comic shop and have them there, and you think your shop would be cool with that, you can let us know. I'll send some your way. You won't pay a thing. I'll just send them to you. You guys will be doing us a huge favor. And then like Chase said, I forget to mention it, but we have merch. So if you want a nice T-shirt, I put a tank top on there because it's getting hot. Which I will
give us merch ideas. If there's stuff that you think you would like to see on there, let us know. We're always willing to pivot what we're doing.
Yep, we got stickers, bumper stickers, mugs. You saw mine. Chase wanted the mug with the old logo before we became what we are now, so that's up there as well. If you go to the Twitter, you click the Beacons link. The merch link's in there. So yeah, get some merch. It's a good time to get it. That way you've got it for con season or when you're meeting up with your friends over the summer or something. So good way to support us too. We don't make a lot of money off the shirts. I'll be honest.
This is cool to see. more than anything, it's just cool to see. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And but yeah, I kept the prices. I priced them like way below regular profit margins because we're not trying to make a ton of money off it. We just want to be able to have cool merch for you guys to sport and enjoy. And yeah, it's always nice to see that, like, hey, you guys like be part of the neighborhood. We're doing something right. That's awesome. So anything else, Chase? Since
That's
you
it.
had a last
Sorry
minute stoppage.
Sorry to crash. It just popped in my head, you know.
No, man. I'm glad you did that. This is why you're better at marketing than I am. Lord have mercy.
Gotta
Well,
use that
if you guys-
business degree, you know. I didn't get it for nothing.
I'm
Except I
gonna
did.
remember that,
Haven't you?
Chase. I'm gonna be like, Chase, you have a business degree, man. Come on.
And I use it to be a stay-at-home father and raise two kids.
Man, I completely support that. That is amazing, dude. Fully, I absolutely love that.
No, thank you.
Well, we will try this again. Nerdy neighbors, we'll see you guys next time in the nerdy neighborhood. Have an awesome night.